tolerance test that we did today, which we have monitored you for 2 hours. We monitored the glucose amount in your blood plasma. We are sadly going to have to inform you that we're diagnosing you with type 2 diabetes. Now, diabetes is a chronic lifelong disorder or disease which is categorized by high amounts of glucose in your blood or high blood sugar, also known as hyperglycemia. You have type 2 diabetes. There are two types of diabetes. You have type 2, and I'm guessing you've had a very poor diet lately, because that is usually what gives a person type 2 diabetes, is a lot of sugars, carbohydrates, glucose, eating a lot of glucose, and lipids and fats.
I'm fat, I'm sorry.
And then type 1 just normally happens in kids very younger than your age. It deals with the immune system. Now, have you been experiencing some very weird symptoms lately, which may have given you signals about this?
Yes.
Symptoms include frequent urination, tingling in the fingers, gum pain, and extreme thirst.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you have a very mild case of gangrene going on down here. Well, your foot is sadly rotting, so just like keep that down.
I also have maggots.
Okay.
So, how does my body normally regulate glucose?
Today we'll be talking about the GLUT4 transport system. Okay, lollipop is gonna down into the digestive system. Then the digestive system is gonna turn the lollipop into glucose. And then the glucose is just gonna build up, and the brain is gonna notice this and send a signal down to your pancreas. And our pancreas has this thing called the beta cells. And the beta cells will produce insulin, which is a hormone. In type 1 diabetes, our immune system is going to attack the pancreas, the beta cells in the pancreas, and this is going to cause no insulin to be produced, like just a small amount. And also, like in type 2 diabetes, Philip is going to eat way too much lollipop, and the glucose is just going to build and just build up. Then the glucose and the insulin is just gonna like go into the bloodstream, and this is where we're at in the cell membrane, which is made out of lipid bilayer. Okay, so this is the active insulin receptor site, which the insulin is gonna attach to, and this is an active insulin receptor site. This is for people who have type 2 diabetes, and okay, so like for the active insulin receptor, when the insulin attaches to it, there's this thing called the message in the cell, and it's just gonna go down and send a signal to the GLUT4 vesicle. And the GLUT4 vesicle is gonna go up, hit the GLUT4 transporter, which is gonna open up and let the glucose enter the cytoplasm and give energy. So going back, we talked about how in type 2 diabetes, insulin receptor is inactive. Well, because of that, when the insulin can't attach to the insulin receptor, we can't send a message into our cells. And also, when we talked about type 1 diabetes, we said that because there's going to be insufficient insulin, it can't attach because there's no insulin, and it can't send this message to let the GLUT4 to be open to let the glucose in.
So, what if my blood sugar is too low?
Well, Dr. Minji.
Okay, so part 2, negative feedback loop with Benji. Negative feedback loop will help you maintain homeostasis, homeostasis is just maintaining stable internal condition. Philip, he's been back on his candy again, and he has high blood sugar, which is known as hyperglycemia. And because of this high blood sugar, our brain's gonna send a message to our pancreas to release more insulin. And then the insulin is gonna go, and then some of it is going to the cell, and then the insulin go here, and it goes to the liver, which then the glucose is transferred into glycogen. And the glycogen is it's basically stored glucose. It's go down, and it's gonna help lower the blood sugar. That maintains homeostasis. Philip, now, he's been off his lollipop. Now he has low blood sugar, which is known as hypoglycemia. And this The brain realizes and sends a signal to our pancreas, to these things called the alpha cells, which is going to produce glucagon. Yeah. And then the glucagon is going to go to the liver over here. The glucagon is going to transfer back into the glucose. And the glucose is going to help raise the blood sugar.
So do I have to eat like any different things?
Well, for a diabetic, it's very important that
Yes.
you watch your diet. You
Okay.
need to watch for lipids, proteins, starches, and sugars. You need to watch for all of those because some can positively affect you and some can negatively affect you. You can find some of these nutrients in like bread's found in starches, you know, meats have proteins, lipids can be found in very fatty, greasy foods, and then sugars are found in bunches of candies, which I'm probably sure you probably ate a lot because you have type 2
So
diabetes.
the recommended diet for diabetics is that to have a low amount of carbohydrates in their diet and also low amount of glucose and other different kinds of sugar and sodium. A best way for diabetics to stay healthy is just a variety of different diets such as fiber, protein, and vitamin A and C and different minerals.
Food labels list the ingredients, contents, fat, sugar, sodiums, vitamin, etc. Diabetics need to closely monitor their food intake.
Okay, so let's see what Cheryl brought from her grocery shop. So I separated already the better pile to the bad pile. Okay, let's see here. Apple. Apple is a great source of glucose. Even for our diabetics, people still need some glucose to keep them fueled for energy. Lettuce, great source of fiber, energy, and it's very healthy. Milk, protein, and calcium. Let's see the other bad pile. Cookies, really? This is just pure sucrose right here. Terrible for you, Cheryl. Ramen noodles. That's 41 grams of carbohydrates. 41, that's terrible. Pasta, it's not even wheat. Ugh. Doritos? Okay, come on.
What are some other complications that could come with diabetes?
Well, there are short and long-term complications.
Oh, yes.
Short-term complications may be hyperglycemia, like high blood sugar, or hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar if you're not getting enough glucose in your blood. And then diabetic hypersmolar is a syndrome that is also frequently found. And then there's some long-term effects that may happen, like eye problems and vision loss, neuropathy, nerve damage, gangrene, kidney damage can also be heavily affected with too much sugar in the body. And then also, if you don't take care of your diabetes, it can lead to even death.
Oh no! Diabetes be treated.
There's no current treatments for diabetes, but it's livable. You can live with it. You just have to live a very healthy diet. Like I said, you need to watch their nutrients. You need to eat healthy foods because healthy foods are very important for a diabetic. Nutrients like proteins are very healthy. Blueberries are good. Some fruits are very good for diabetics. It's very important that you need to check your blood levels regularly because you can either find if it's raised, which raised high blood sugar, hyperglycemia can lead to very dangerous negative effects.
Are there any inventions or innovations that can help me?
Well, there is what is known as an insulin pump. That's
Oh,
more
yes.
common with type 1 diabetes, but it can
Oh,
also
yes.
happen in type 2 diabetes. Because type 1, you know that the immune system attacks, and so there's no insulin. And then type 2, your insulin can run out because it's overusing because there's so much glucose. But an insulin pump is just there to pump insulin into the body in like amounts that is needed to counter-react the glucose so that it can get into the cells and actually be used. Also, a few more things that have been released. I had to get a list from one of my fellow doctors, but there's
yes.
things called gut bacteria and implantable devices. There's stem cells, smart blood glucose meter, and then there's artificial pancreases. So is that all the questions you have for this meeting that we've had? Well, your gangrene seems to have worsened. No! I'm gonna have to amputate.
Oh no, my nerves!